Listen, when we're in a sales interaction or we're trying to negotiate something or tell somebody about what we have to offer, sometimes it happens where we freeze up. Have you ever frozen up when closing a sale, or do you have a problem with freezing up? Or maybe you're not freezing up closing, but when it comes to closing and it comes time for them to spend money with you, you don't take it all the way. This oftentimes, when I deal with people in coaching and even just observing myself in closing and sales situations, realize this has to do with a judgment that I have made when a salesperson or a sales interaction has tried to persuade me, stick with me for a second, has tried to persuade me to do something at a certain time. Oftentimes when we freeze up when closing the sale, we've been through a sales experience before that felt uncomfortable. And so we made a judgment that said, I don't want to be that way in sales. And we swung all the way to the other direction. And whenever we're at that place of closing the deal, we sort of shrink back a little bit because of that fear of being like that person that made us feel uncomfortable in the past. This is often the case in sales. And when you can really get past this and realize, okay, first off, I'm not that person. I'm not going to make somebody feel uncomfortable. My heart is in the right place. And what I'm actually doing is helping another person get what they want. Then we can walk with confidence and boldness when it comes to closing the sale. You see, closing the sale is this: when you're selling something that's going to help somebody, that's going to help them reach a goal, that's going to help them get a better result that they've been getting up to that point, it's actually your responsibility to carry it out to the end. Because otherwise you're essentially going hands off and saying, you know what? I don't want them to feel pressured, so I'm actually not going to help this person get what they already told me they wanted. And we make this decision, and it's a vicious cycle that I see with salespeople. We're afraid of how the other person will perceive us, so we choose to not do the very thing that will help them that they already told us they wanted. And so we have to work through that. It comes oftentimes from also shame and guilt, and dealing with that shame of, I don't want to be like XYZ, or I don't want to be perceived this way, or in the past, once before, I was perceived this way and it didn't work out for me. And so I never want to experience that feeling of resentment that somebody has, or make somebody feel pressured into a sales situation. When you're coming from a place of service in sales, meaning closing the deal is serving another individual's needs, meaning you have something that will help somebody else. It takes all the pressure off. It removes all of the pressure from the situation, because closing the deal is service. Oftentimes I see people, they have so many great products or services. They have systems that can help another person get to somewhere that they've never been in their life, or build a business, or grow and increase their income, but they're afraid to close the deal because they're thinking about, well, what am I going to get out of this? And if I don't get this out of this, then I'm going to fail. And if the person perceives that I'm going to get a benefit from this, and we freeze up because we get stuck in our head about the worry of how another person will perceive us in the sales situation. And we have to get out of that. We have to break free from that, both judging ourselves and judging another person, the person that you're selling to, as judging you, and the worry of that. And it's this loop that we go in, this fear-shame loop that causes us to freeze and not close the deal in sales. When your heart is in the right place, when you're coming from morals, ethics, you have integrity, you can walk with confidence and boldness in a sales situation and say, all right, awesome, you ready to get started? Let's go right now. I'm going to pull up the link. Give me your credit card. Let's type it in. Let's get you registered for this. Let's purchase your product. You become a customer service agent at that point. And this is where I've seen a lot of people, they freeze up, is at that moment of where they have to shift from being a salesperson to taking the money. They are worried that they're going to pressure somebody, but the person has already told you they're ready. It's time for you to serve them. And the first step of serving somebody in a sales situation is taking their payment information, is putting it in there, is charging their credit card, is helping them make sure that they know how to pay for this the right way. I talked to a lady yesterday. She gets a lot of people to the end where they're ready to pay. They said, I'm ready to buy from you. And then they drop off the face of the planet because she tells them, okay, I'm going to send you the link. You can go do it in your own time. And I said, listen, tell them I'm going to pull up the link. Let's pull it up together. Let's put in your credit card info. And she was like, oh, I feel like that's pressuring. No, it's service. It's customer service because you're helping another person get the goal that they already told you they needed. It's not about you. It's not about how you're being perceived. You have to get out of your head of trying to look good to other people and making that your entire goal. And often trying to look good to other people in a sales situation comes from the judgments that we have made against other sales situations, whether it's been ourselves or other people, or maybe we were hard selling at one point and somebody said, hey, listen, you're not being very respectful. And so we shrink back into that place of what feels comfortable. And then I see people stay stuck there for years. And then they wonder, why can't I close a sale? Why can't I get a customer? So think about that. What are you worried about people judging you for? Maybe leave it in the comments. What are those feelings when it comes time to close the deal that you think in your mind of what don't you want to look like? Ask yourself, why do I think that I could look like that? What experience? What am I feeling in this moment? What's the truth about this? And that's the key. Replace what you're believing about that with the truth that you're serving somebody. Replace the broken belief that is not helping you with the truth of what will help you serve another individual. Go out there and get involved with some sales interactions. Get some deals in front of you so that you can talk to people. Test this out. You know what? You're probably going to bomb it a few times, and that's okay. I got in a couple sales calls over the last 2 months, and I've bombed about 50% of them because I was trying something new. I was testing stuff out, but you know what? That's okay. When I get on the phone with somebody with sales, I do not care if they buy from me or not. All I care about is helping that individual get their goals, helping that person move them from where they are to where they want to be. And if buying from me is the next step in that process, great. I'm going to take their credit card information. If it's plugging them into a podcast episode, I'm going to recommend that to them. If it's plugging them into a course or my Facebook group, that's what I'm going to recommend. You have to come from a place of service. And I did a podcast episode on this a few weeks ago. It says it's closing sales with integrity and confidence. I did another one about becoming unstoppable in sales. You can go to the Grow Your Life podcast, look up hashtag Grow Your Life on any podcast app anywhere, or join the hashtag Grow Your Life group on Facebook. Listen, for you to grow in your business, for you to make money, you have to take the money and get the money. You can't grow in a business until you get the sales stuff down. Sales is the first step, and then you can scale. So often I see people trying to scale with a system, with marketing gimmicks, with ways of getting the sale, with ways to automate things to remove themselves out of the situation so that they are not responsible for these emotions that they go through. You have to become a master at communicating, talking with people, knowing what they want, how to say it, and how to get the sale closed, how to get some deals in front of you, how to start to close some deals, and then you can scale it with ads, with funnels, with marketing. Listen, I know you can do this, but the core of this is getting the mindset down, getting the right mindset behind what closes the deal, and identifying where am I stuck? Where do I freeze up? Where do I stop? Write it down in the comments. Let me know. I'm going to do some more videos on this. Let me know other areas maybe that you do freeze up in the sales process or what goes through your head during this process. I look forward to talking to you. We'll talk soon.